Hi, this is Carl again, and what I'm going to discuss with you in this particular video is an aspect of grammar which has arguably created a great deal of confusion for learners of the language over the years, mainly due to the way in which it's put forward and presented by Spanish textbooks or grammar books, but which I've researched personally, and therefore what I'm hoping to do is, after I finish this particular video, is to allow you to be confident in making use of this particular aspect of grammar by having a much clearer understanding of how it operates. Now, the matter under discussion here is the difference between por and para in Spanish. Now, obviously, when such a matter is being discussed in textbooks or grammar books, then you will have written rules and regulations about when you use one word over the other. But what I'm going to do is to tell you now that por has many rules and far more rules than para does. So therefore, if we can explain as precisely as possible when you have to use para in the Spanish language, then we can therefore assume that if we need to express a statement or a sentence in the target language which makes use of either por or para, if none of the para rules, of which there are only a few in number, don't apply, then we can assume that por must be used instead. Now, so what I'm going to do now is to explain to you when para is used in the Spanish language, and if you like, you may wish to make a few notes so that after I finish this video, you can then refer to those notes, and hopefully that will allow you to clarify even further when para is used as opposed to por. So, with para only having basically 3 or maybe no more than 4 rules governing its usage, whereas por can have as many as 25, then maybe even more. By discussing the rules which govern para, this simplifies the overall task of trying to explain this particular point of Spanish grammar. So para will be used if in English you're giving an opinion, for example, para mí, for me, and also if the implied meaning is as far as somebody or someone is concerned. For example, this dress is too big for me. This dress is too big as far as I'm concerned. And also para will be used if the meaning in English can be translated using intended for, as in this dress is intended for me and this dress is too big for me. Alternatively, if there's a destination or a deadline or a final outcome involved, then para will be used as well. For example, I am sailing for or towards the coast, where the coast is the final destination. Tomorrow we are heading for Spain. Spain is the final destination, and therefore you will use para. You can also use para in Spanish before a verb to express the meaning in order to, with the intention of, with the aim of achieving a particular goal or outcome. I learn Spanish in order to be able to practice it when I go away on holiday, in which case, in order to practice, or simply in English, to practice, will become para plus the full verb practicar, para practicar. Also, if you're giving a stereotype of something and you're saying, for example, in English, for a 95-year-old, he's very fit, as if you were saying that there are no 95-year-olds who aren't fit. So therefore that would be a stereotype, and you're implying that through saying for a 95-year-old he is very fit. So in that respect, para would be used as well. So just to recapitulate the use of para, it means for as in an opinion, it means for as in as far as someone is concerned, which is similar to giving an opinion. This dress is too big for me as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. It can be used to mean intended for. these glasses are for red wine. This present is for you. It can be used to translate in order to. I do this with the intention of, with the ultimate goal of achieving something or other. And it can also be used where a stereotype is being implied. So for example, as I said, for a 95-year-old, he is very fit. For a 15-year-old boy, he is extremely tall. As if to say that all 15-year-old boys were tall. Obviously, some are taller than others, but not all of them are tall. So now I'll give you a sample of sentences, questions and statements in Spanish, each of which make use of either por or para. And I'll just see if you can guess which of the two words would be used in each instance. And then I'll tell you the right answers. I think I might be running out of time in this particular video as far as the 10-minute limit is concerned, so I will carry this on in part 2. So just a few examples, and then as I say, I'll carry on in part 2. Is it too expensive for you? Uses para, because. Is it too expensive as far as you are concerned, in your opinion? He is saving to buy himself a new motorbike. Again, uses para. He is saving the money in order to buy himself a new motorbike. Why are you not going out with her? A tricky one, this one. It uses por because we have por qué as the question word why. Apologies if I caught you out there. They're leaving for the airport at 6:30. Again, uses para because the airport is the destination. They are leaving for the airport at 6:30. What is the name of the MP for Madrid? Now this time we're using por because the MP is not intended for Madrid, because he's not going to Madrid, and therefore we're using por. And the reason why we're actually using por, although I didn't want to discuss the rules for por, is that there's a representation. So Madrid is represented by an MP, and the word by in Spanish is very often translated using that little word por. I'll continue this in part 2.